sabe que tá parecendo um rolê de viagem no tempo.
No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
Cara, sei lá, mano. Que viagem doida, mano. Ela deu mesmo a fruta não, a semente da flor de Sakura pra Ei. E ali vai se tornar o novo plano de alquimia da Ei. Tipo, ela não vai mais agora meditar dentro dela mesma, ela vai meditar sobre a árvore pra adquirir o conhecimento pra enfrentar as coisas que vão vir agora pro futuro. Cara, que viagem, mano. E é muito triste a história delas duas. Delas três agora, né? Porque a Shogun Raiden também faz parte agora. Porque antes a Makoto... A Ei era a sombra da Makoto. E agora a Shogun Raiden é a sombra da Ei. Mano, que viagem, velho. Que viagem a história dela. É muito boa. Caramba, é boa, mas é triste. É bem triste. A história das duas irmãs. Uma sabia viver e aprender as alegrias do mundo. A outra só pensava em lutar, guerrear. Se tornar a mais forte. Caralho, mano. Porra, e a Emika é uma desgraçada, né? Ela continua sendo uma filha da mãe que só ajuda por interesse. É uma fala da mãe que continua fazendo as coisas de forma desgracenta com a gente. Até pra salvar a deusa de novo, ela tá tipo... Ha! Foda-se. Caramba, mano. Como isso deu certo, eu não sei. Mas eu achei legal a luta dela, da Ei, contra a Raiden, lá no espaço-tempo contínuo, da consciência. Praticamente tu era imortal. A Ei também era imortal, mas a Raiden não. Achei da hora. Então, eternidade é um conceito atrelado ao tempo. Quando você toca na eternidade, o tempo se torna embaçado. Eu vi coisas maravilhosas naquele lugar. O tempo estava se movendo para frente e para trás simultaneamente.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Pera, não tá saindo a voz. Eu entendo o que você está pensando. Talvez um poder maior esteja realmente envolvido nisso. Mas, independentemente da explicação, sua solução é o que nos salvou. Tem um nome ali, Staroth. Um poder maior, Staroth. Quem é Staroth, mano? Será que é outro Arconte?
Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, But unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not?
Nossa!
Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you?
Sim, claro.
At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
Ah, então... Uma inevitabilidade do destino. Cara, isso foi muito viagem do tempo. Meu Deus, mano. Então... Nossa, agora faz tudo sentido. Por isso que a Ei falou que quando ela voltou pra Inazuma, a árvore de Sakura já estava lá. E todo mundo sentia como se ela já estivesse lá todo o tempo. Só que, na verdade, ela foi plantada numa dimensão que cruza o tempo e o espaço numa luta final entre a Ei e a Raiden Shogun. Ou seja, ela mexeu com o fluxo do tempo estando no presente. Meu Deus do céu.
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside, so it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
Hey, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day.
Mas ei, você também fez muitas coisas importantes, minha filha.
I just planted a seed.
É, se tu não tivesse feito isso. A sua determinação e a dela eram indispensáveis.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Mas chegar lá foi o resultado de inúmeros esforços juntos. que você... que não é porque a causa e efeito se inverteram.
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Mas deles sairão novas oportunidades.
I'm looking forward to it.
Capítulo da Imperatrix Umbrosa Ato 2 concluído, meus queridos. Sakura do Sonho a gente recebeu. Que é isso? Cara, muito bom. Muito bom mesmo.